The focus here is just what state agencies might do to support successful implementation of high quality instructional materials. We've been involved with CCSSO, the Council for Chief State School Officers, and they brought together this consortium of states to really support us in helping our districts, supporting our districts in the adoption of high quality instructional materials. And now that we're about 6 years in, I would say we haven't taken our eyes completely off of the need for selection across the state, which we still know it's there, but we've definitely shifted our focus toward implementation types of supports, especially post-COVID, as so many of our districts use their ESSER funds to purchase new materials. We are not an adoption state. Nebraska is pretty heavily local control. Our districts make those local determinations. All we do at the state level, the only lever we have, so to speak, is to signal quality. And so that's been one of our big arenas of work, is just helping our districts and our school leaders really understand what makes a material of high quality, what makes it standards aligned. So we have a website and we utilize the Ed Reports reviews. So if anybody visits our Nebraska Instructional Materials Collaborative site, it'll link them directly to those Ed Reports reviews. We also collect data from our 244 districts. It's pretty straightforward. We ask them what their primary core material is for math, reading, science. We haven't started asking about social studies yet. So, and then we translate that information into an interactive map. So anybody has access to see what district is using what, and it's publicly available. And then of course, professional learning and a lot of technical support. When we started this venture, only 9% of our students statewide had access to an HQIM, and you'll see that's grown to 64%. And then for ELA, started with 3%, and now 47% of our students have access to a high quality instructional material. So significant growth there, but I think everybody on this call knows that these numbers don't necessarily reflect the depth or the fidelity of implementation. And so that's where we're really putting our energy. So I chose 4 kind of initiatives or projects that we have going on, and 4 that just, I think, really do a great job of demonstrating where we're at and what we're doing to support our districts with implementation. One of them is our math acceleration project, and we're in year 2 of that. I mentioned just some key partnerships that we've had, and also that we're a really small state with pretty limited capacity staff-wise. So we really have relied on some, external partners, one of them being Instruction Partners, and they've been with us. They've engaged in several sort of long-range initiatives with us, one being math acceleration. We offered this out to all of our 17 educational service units or ESUs across Nebraska. 10 of our ESUs joined on as part of this project. But the basic structure is that the Instruction Partners folks come into the school. They do 2 formal, all-day observations, walkthroughs in the fall and spring, and they're looking at teacher practice in a building. And in that building, one of the prerequisites is they're all using the same high quality instructional mathematics material. So they're doing those walkthroughs, they're giving feedback, they're doing little coaching sessions, and then they're doing action planning to really look at what are the themes that we're seeing in these walkthroughs, what are some barriers to implementation, where do teachers seem to be maybe struggling a little bit with some aspects of the materials, and then they work with them on those things, not in an evaluative way whatsoever. It really is very informal and really centered around the fidelity to the materials. And then coaching and professional learning are really built around 3 key levers. Their instructional vision for math. So that is something in terms of requirements that we want the district to have a district-wide vision for math instruction. They do a lot of unit internalization and lesson preparation, and then teacher feedback and coaching. We are seeing that our students are making pretty significant growth if they're in those schools that have been part of math acceleration. It has gone over so well. That has really been a partnership between the state agency, our educational service unit staff, and our district leaders, it's gone over so well and seen such success that we are now embarking on a literacy acceleration. We provided for all of our ESUs something called unit internalization. It's a learning opportunity where you take a group of educators through a unit or a lesson in a high quality instructional materials, and you kind of unpack it, for lack of a better word. So you really get them deep into the weeds of that particular unit or lesson, the standards alignment that's associated with it, the text, the tasks, the sequence of questions. And so we brought instruction partners in again, and they did that with all of our ESUs. And now what we're seeing is we have developed the ESU's capacities to then in turn provide those unit internalization experiences in their regions. We used ESSER funds. I think it was the first round of ESSER funds. As schools were closing and going remote, we wanted to provide a high quality math material that students could use in a virtual space. And so we purchased statewide Zern licenses. So all of our 244 districts were eligible to receive these seat licenses for as many students as they wanted. We've seen tremendous growth, especially from the schools that have demonstrated the most consistent usage. Educational service unit, those are our regional service centers. And we are actually renewing those licenses. The current ones expire at the end of June, so the end of next month, and we were able to find some grant funding to get those renewed. So we're really excited to see even more movement. And I mention this one too because the Zern licenses have come along with a lot of professional learning, so implementation of the Zern program.